is frightful, but the fire is so delightful.
Meg. Yeah, this is a look at downtown Brooklyn right now. It's not coming down quite as hard as it was last hour, but it is slick out on the road, so please be careful. Just came in, and it is bad on the Brooklyn Bridge there. 7-11, 31 degrees. More of the forecast in a minute.
Governor Patterson introduces at least 88 new taxes to combat the state deficit. The MTA passes its Doomsday budget, and Kennedy is making a statewide push for a Senate seat. To discuss, we welcome back morning radio host of WWRL Radio and Daily News columnist Errol Lewis. You've been reporting it all week, these new taxes, these nuisance taxes, and there are so many of them.
Well, that's right. It's nickel and diming. Every place you can look, it's said that he's taxing everything that moves and a lot of things that don't. The most extraordinary example being a tax on non-diet soda.
Yeah, diet is fine.
Which is just amazing. I think in some ways it's intended or best understood to be the opening bid in the back and forth that's going to go on in Albany as they try and arrive at a budget.
You were talking about nickel and diming, but will that add up to fix the deficit?
Well, on paper it does. I mean, the thing is, politically, thank God, these things have to be talked about. There have to be hearings. And within minutes of the Doomsday budget being released, my email box, probably yours too, every reporter in the state, I think, was flooded with different interest groups, the pharmacists and the elderly and the youth, and everybody saying you can't balance this budget on our backs. And all that means is it's going to be a maelstrom up there. It's going to be a tsunami of political interest going at it. Starting in January.
Let's talk about the MTA, too. That Doomsday budget being passed and fare hikes increasing by more than 20%.
Well, that's right. The tax that nobody calls a tax, right? It's supposed to be a fee that only users have to come up with, but everybody has to take a bridge or a subway or something to get around. I mean, we're a city of islands, for God's sake. So, yeah, it's going to hit people real hard. A $2.50 single ride, over $100 for a monthly commuter card. This is not small stuff, and these are the kind of things anti-tax people are going to argue that drive people out of here, that drive people to Atlanta or Seattle or Charlotte or the other metropolitan areas that have been benefiting at New York's expense for years now.
And the question is, may there be more to come?
Oh, well, sure. Well, there'll be more debate to come. This is the thing is, a lot of times what happens is these debates go on and on and on, and then suddenly the economy recovers, and everybody acts as if it's all just gone away. And then, of course, the recession inevitably comes. There is such a thing as the business cycle, and we're right back to where we were before. I mean, we had this conversation probably 10 years ago, and, in the intervening years when the surpluses were rolling into state and city government, nobody wanted to talk about it, and here we are again.
Yeah, everyone hoping that cycle is about to come back up again. But
sooner
that's
or later.
Question, when will it come back up?
Well, sooner or later, yeah.
Yeah, sooner or later. We've got a Senate seat, and Carolyn Kennedy's really interested in it. What do you expect?
Well, a lot of people came out right away. I was a little surprised at how vehement the opposition to her was. A lot of people from inside the political club, I would call it, saying, oh, she's not experienced, she hasn't paid her dues, as if these were requirements. The Constitution specifies you got to be 30 years old, you have to be a citizen for at least 9 years, you have to live in the state. So she's qualified in a technical sense. She's also, co-authored a number of books. I have a column in today's newspaper arguing that outsiders like her really should be considered. Those who don't want her. Well, look, we haven't had stellar, spectacular achievements, I think, from inside the political clubhouse. I think that when you have an opportunity like this, and this is an ideal opportunity because whoever gets named to this Senate seat, voters will have to approve or reject that person in 2 years. And the last time this happened was in 1970 when the successor to Robert F. Kennedy, who tragically was assassinated, at the first opportunity, the voters turned him out of office. So whether it's a Kennedy or whether it's somebody else, I mean, I think there's this lady, extraordinary woman, Shirley Ann Jackson, the president of Rensselaer Polytechnic upstate. She's a forfer, a quadruple threat. A woman, she's African-American, she happens to be a genius, and she's from upstate, and why can't we get some new talent and some new blood in here? That's what political parties used to do. That's what I think they should get back to doing.
Well, we'll hear it very soon. Thanks, Errol. Good to see you. As always, remember WCBS is your home for politics. Bob Schieffer will have much more on Face the Nation. That is at 10:30. Don't forget at 11, Spirited Debate with John McLaughlin and the McLaughlin Group, and that is right here on CBS.